I'd like to take this time to welcome everybody here for the workshop meeting of January 2020, Sequoyah County School Board. For commissioners that may be here, we appreciate you coming. All of our visitors, we appreciate you as well. First item on the agenda today is Mr. Brad Burke, Finance.
All right, guys. Does everyone have your budget amendments that I just handed out?
Yes.
As you can see, it's a lot shorter than we normally have, so that's a good thing. So we're going to start off, it's going to be budget amendment number 6, and this is going to be general purpose fund 141. Item number 1 is to reallocate within transportation category. Item number 2 is to correct for double posting of certain entries for the early childhood education program. Item number 3 is to recognize balance of school safety grant and reclassify appropriations to proper account code. Item number 4 is to appropriate GPS fund, unassigned fund balance to pay the benefits related to the salary increase approved in budget amendment 4A, item number 5. Item number 5 is to appropriate GPS unassigned fund balance for payment to a former Head Start director for unused accrued vacation days. Gonna flip that over. Item number 6 is to reallocate within regular instruction non-classroom category. Item number 7 is reallocate from vocational education classroom to vocational education non-classroom categories. And item number 8 is to reallocate funds within alternative education science category. That's a total budget amendment of $77,697.74 with $12,805.87 coming from GPS unassigned fund balance. That's all we have, Kelly.
That's it. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is our insurance broker's presentation. Do we have both represented today? 5 Points and Sequoyah? Okay, I guess we'll just go in order. Sequoyah Group up first.
Let's bring in our chief marketing correspondent.
I'd like to introduce to the group Mr. Tim Hilton. He is the founder and CEO of Sequoyah Group, and you can introduce your sidekick.
Okay. Who I've got with me today is my partner Kelly here, and Kelly is going to be giving the presentation this evening. So we'll just get started now. I think we have 15 minutes is what we're working off of right now. So we'll go ahead and get started, and I'll turn it over to Kelly. Thank you very much.
Everybody see this okay? Right. So, what we know, medical coverage for support staff is not affordable. As you all know, we've been working with the county government here and trying to right size their medical, which was kind of out of whack for several years. Family coverage is expensive. We've heard that from several of the employees that are over at the school system. Cost of coverage for the BOE is expensive. No control or flexibility when you participate in the state medical pool. So the BOE participates in the state medical pool. With that, you're not able to pick your own plans, set your own rates, anything like that. Because of our experience, we're very versed with the difficulty of quoting groups on their medical that are in the state medical pool currently. It's something that we do that we don't charge for, and we know how to navigate that, which takes a little extra work because the state medical pool has a lag on their claims data for several months. And then another thing that we do is we educate and support medical choices even within the state pool. So although we're a broker that shops out all the lines of coverage, even if it is the school board's best interest to stay in the state medical pool, we will still coordinate the state medical plan's information into the open enrollment material and help educate the employees on those choices. Okay, so questions that have come up in the county. On-site clinics, self-funding arrangements, partially self-funded, direct pay, contracts, population health, different plan changes, carrier changes in regards to medical. Any of these things you can't do as long as you stay in the state medical pool, okay? You have to be out on your own to be able to do some of those things. Something that was mentioned, I think has been mentioned or discussed before, is that you all were told that you could not, that it would reduce your BEP funding or affect your BEP funding if you pulled out of the state medical pool. That is not accurate. So The funds, this is just a little educational piece on BEP funding. The funds generated by the BEP are what the state has defined as sufficient to provide basic level of education for each school system. The BEP has 4 major categories: instruction, benefits, classroom, and non-classroom. State enrollment, average daily membership, is the primary driver of funds generated by the BEP. So it's not insurance, it's not whether your insurance is in the state pool or not in the state pool. There are 45 BEP components, most of which are based on student enrollment. Examples: the number of students per teacher, assistant principals per school, and dollars per student. This is just more about how the BEP works, and how it's divided up. Because of time's sake, I don't want to go through too much of it. But basically right here goes into the BEP handbook, and this shows calculation of how the BEP is calculated. And if you'll notice right here, get rid of that one. Right here. So this talks about staff benefits. So it's a set percentage of the BEP. It has nothing to do with how much the insurance premium is, or what insurance, or whether you're in the state pool or not. And then right here also talks about it for purposes of calculating benefits and insurance. For maintenance, I have 60% of square foot cost of salary allocation, 45. So it's this big convoluted system that they have where they assign certain amounts to everything for the funding. Okay? One of the things that Sequoyah Group has done for many years is we're really good at balancing what we call the penny. Okay? Because it all relates to tax dollar money. And within a school system, you have various degrees of demographics. You've got your support staff, you've got your bus drivers, you've got your cafeteria workers, and your classified support, or your classified, your teachers. Okay? And with that, the funding that you get more funding for your teachers and things like that. So, and there can be some discrepancies in earnings, and which makes it hard when you're trying to balance benefits between that diverse demographic. Okay? Just to give you all an idea, this is Carter County Plan 1, Plan 2 today. Okay? This is the state plan. This is their premier plan. This is the state standard plan that you all are in, because y'all are in the state medical pool. This is the limited PPO plan, which most of the employees pick because it's the cheaper of the PPO plans with a copay. If you notice, what I've highlighted are those red things. That is your out-of-pocket maximum. The most important thing about medical, whether it's a state plan, whether you're on your own, whether it's a Medicare supplement, whatever it is the out-of-pocket maximum. Because that's what you're going to hit if something happens. Almost 90% of us carry medical. Why? The what if. What if I have cancer? What if I'm in a car wreck? What if I need surgery? What if I have a heart attack? Well, if you have a what if, even a small what if, is $30,000. So what that means is you're going to hit your out-of-pocket maximum. Co-insurance doesn't matter. Co-pays don't matter. None of that matters. This is what's scary in the state medical pool. The out-of-pocket maximums are very expensive. So if teachers or support staff or people get into that situation, they can be looking at a very high dollar amount. Down here, just to give you an idea, this is the premium per employee for the plan at Carter County, for this plan at Carter County, and for the state plan that you guys pay. Okay? So you can see you're paying significantly more in what I would say less coverage. Right here, this is the third plan at Carter County, which is the high deductible HSA plan. We did a lot of education and really helped their employees take more money home by doing this HSA plan, which allowed the county to give HSA money of $3,100 a year to their employees. That's like giving each of their employees $5,000 gross increase, okay? So right here, this is the county's high deductible HSA plan. Look at the premium, the Blue Cross. Out of pocket's $4,000. This is the state. The out of pocket's $5,000, but if you've noticed, I have shared here. What that means is if a family's on Carter County's plan, and let's say I'm on Carter County's plan, and I'm in this plan, me, my husband, and my child, because it's embedded, if something happens to me, catastrophic, I'm only out $4,000, because it's embedded, okay, even though I have family coverage. On the state plan, if my family's on this plan, and something catastrophic happens to me, I'm out $10,000, because it's shared, it's not embedded, okay?
And look at the difference in the annual premium.
The annual premium. And that's just on the employee. The family costs are even, take those numbers and triple them for family coverage. Okay, benchmarking continued. This is the Kaiser Foundation. High deductible qualified plans with HSAs are continuing to grow in the market because it's kind of like a no-brainer when you do the math, okay? You put that money in your own bank account for when you have that what if. Because why should you pay $200 more a month for a copay when you don't go to the doctor maybe 3 or 4 times a year? Some people don't even go once or twice unless they're made by their spouse or something. So, okay, what does better coverage mean? Everybody says, we want better coverage, we want better coverage. What does that mean? What does that mean? Because whatever your deductible is, you pay for it, right? Just like with car insurance, homeowners insurance. So look at this. This looks great. $500 deductible, $1,300 out-of-pocket maximum, office visit copays. But the premium to Blue Cross is going to be somewhere around $700 a month. So, and if the person has a what if, they're out $1,300. Well, on a high deductible plan, over here, the out-of-pocket's higher, but the premium's a lot less. So the savings is more than the out-of-pocket. Does that make sense?
So what you try to do there is offset the money that you're sending to the insurance carrier and give it to your employees there. And it's what we've done in part at a lot of our county governments and board of education.
Is that the $3,100 that you're talking about that the county gives back to employees? That's how they're coming up.
Yes, sir.
They gave it to them
So instead of
pre-tax.
getting the insurance, they're giving it back to the people.
You got it, and it more than covers their out-of-pocket. So, right here, one of the reasons I'm trying to educate you all a little bit on medical is because in working with the county up here, being my family's a part of this community, what I've heard is, hey, we need to fix our medical. We need to control our costs. We need to do something better, okay? So that's why I'm trying to explain, go into the medical, because that's what we are really good at doing. Right here, this is a case study with another county that we've been doing and running since back in 2009. So you can see where their original renewals came in and where the renewals came in after they were negotiated. So very small class study, but 718,000 over those years.
147 employees.
Okay, small number of employees, that much savings. Back in 2009, they only had 5 families on the plan because the family premium was over $1,000 back in 2009, and they couldn't afford coverage. 2019, they have 43 families on the plan, and their family premium is $722. This is our second case study that we've been tracking since we've had it. So, and this is a larger group, okay, 1.8 million. This is our third one, 2 million, okay? And this one we do the school systems as well. So right here, there's their original renewals, there's their renewal after the fact. If you notice on each of those, there's been 2 or 3 years that we had negative renewals. One of the things we were asked by the county commission was, do negative renewals ever happen? Those don't exist. We were like, yeah, they do. Okay. Right here, this is a letter from one of the HR people at one of those groups talking about what their medical was running before us and what it ran after we took it over on average. So from 2005 to 2011, with a local broker, they received 20.49% average increase. Then after that, since we had been managing it from 2012 to 2018, total of 8.19. Okay, self-funding, it's a misconception sometimes because everybody thinks it saves money right out of the gate. Claims are claims. You have to cover your claims. So whether you're fully insured or self-funded. Pros, here's the main thing with self-funding. You have more plan control and transparency. So right now, you're sending that money to the state, and if they don't pay it for claims, who is earning the interest on that money? The state, right? And the state hasn't had an increase in the last 2 years, right? Does that tell you something? Okay? More plan options. You can carve out your pharmacy and do a lot more with that. The cons, it's a little harder to budget, okay? So you really have to be good at projecting it when you go in. You need to set up a trust to protect the funding of it. You've got to be really good at negotiating the stop-loss contracts or have a broker that knows what they're doing. Pharmacy costs, with the cost of specialty drugs, pharmacy costs are skyrocketing because of specialty drugs right now, okay? A good step before going totally self-funded is to partially self-fund. That way you get an idea of what your claims are running and you can build your reserves. And there's a lot of ways to do that, okay? All right, wellness options. There's a lot of different wellness options that you can explore. But again, until you all are out of the state plan, it really doesn't benefit you to invest time or money in those unless you're doing it to just help your staff, okay? All right, population health, that's another thing that we do that actually assigns an ROI value, return of investment, on your wellness incentives. Okay, the employee experience with Sequoyah Group. We always send out employee flyers ahead of open enrollment, outlining kind of what the changes are, what they need to know, so they're not like, shell shocked. We have group educational meetings. We try to do it at least 2 weeks before open enrollment. Spouses can attend. We pass out guides. This is Murray County Public Schools. They're a little larger than you guys, but anyways, this has all of their information in one guide. Shows them how to access our benefits portal on their phone if they want to. But what I wanted to show you are all the state plans. They're in the state medical pool right now. But all of the state plans are in this one guide, and all of their information is together in this one thing. Because Edison or the state will mail stuff to employees, and then they say they may or may not have gotten it, and it's a headache, because they get some stuff from the state, some stuff from this person, and they don't know where everything is. So we streamline everything together. We don't use any outside enrollers or insurance people. I came out of HR. I worked for General Brick for about 10 years. So I'm an HR person. I don't like insurance people sitting down selling things. Okay, so our company was founded on just the opposite of that. So what we try to do is ask employees questions to help determine their needs and help them figure out the best thing. Right here, this is a piece out of the presentation from Carter County's group showing their 3 plans, showing how much, like if they use the plan, a preventive exam, 2 doctor's visits, and drugs, we plug it into each 3 of their medical plans that they have, and we do the math for them. So look, on the HSA, their employees are pocketing $2,300 a year. That's a pretty good deal.
So what we do there is we let the analytics and data drive our solution that we provide for the employer to be able to provide the solution to the employees and their loved ones. In that situation there, they don't know which plan to pick, but we ask them about their utilization, and we can plug that utilization in right there, and we'll know which one's going to be most beneficial to them. Because as we know, our employees don't make a lot of money, and we've got to protect their paycheck just like we protect the penny for the county.
So, administration experience. So we also have a fully benefits administration portal that is actually we do in-house. So we monitor all the EDI error reports. Anytime there's a system issue, we can fix it. And it's fully compatible. I won't go into a lot of detail because the finance already knows about it. But we audit invoices, and the benefits administrator has one portal to go enter everything into instead of going to different places. So it just streamlines the whole administration process.
Also, that administration system is totally built out at our office at 4911 Jacksboro Pike in Knoxville, Tennessee, by Zach, who came up here today to do the Affordable Care Act reporting. It is not farmed out to some third party or anything like that. Nobody sees your information except us.
So marketing experience, again, this is what we do well. We're very transparent. So this is an example of the marketing for Carter County's health plan. The renewal came in at, originally at about a 10% increase, I think it was. And they're like, this is a good renewal, they need to sign it. We were like, no, we're gonna market it, because that's what we do. So by the time we got done marketing it, they were at a 10% decrease with the same benefit. That's before any benefits were changed. Right here, United Healthcare came in there, Humana, Cigna. Cigna was at $330,000. Okay, same benefit, same exact benefit. Okay. Right here, this is another group that we did, and we put in the HSA, and almost $500,000 in savings. It was way more than enough to fund all the HSAs. Ancillary and voluntary marketing, we spreadsheet everything because we're concerned about the employee's paycheck. We're not just concerned about what the taxpayer or the BOE is paying, because we have family that work at these places. So we spreadsheet everything. Most brokers utilize specific carriers because they have to use those carriers to go do their enrollment for them. We go do our own enrollment, okay, and meet with employees. So that's who they see every year. We're 100% transparent even on what the employees pay. Right now, we have a BOE that their basic life rate, and I don't know where yours is sitting at, their basic life rate is sitting at 6 cents per thousand. That's for AD&D and basic life. That's unheard of. Okay, when I say we spreadsheet everything, this is an accident plan. So if that tells you anything, we spreadsheet all the carriers, USA, Able, Hartford, Guardian, Trustmark, Colonial, and we come and we let you make the best decision for your employees. And we tell you the pros and cons and all the pricing.
Or the other thing is, we give you our top three recommendations. Because if we recommend it, and if it blows up on us, we're fired. And the easiest thing to do is to come in and someone just to match and see what our benefits are and everything. Because we can get fired on a daily basis. And we want to make sure that the benefit and the cost far exceeds what the employees are needing or wanting.
Well, if the kind of our motto is, if the employees aren't happy, you're not going to be happy. So, right here, other services, we have a full gamut of HR services. Me being in HR for several years, and we have a portal and all the bells and whistles. FMLA and HIPAA training for department heads. We do that at a lot of groups, school systems, and counties. Medicare educational meetings, invoice reconciliation. We have 24/365 concierge service for employees. If you get a chance, please ask some of the employees in the county, especially over at the sheriff's department, if they call us on the weekends and if they call us at night and if we respond back to them, because we do. Administrative support, ACA reporting and assistance. Okay, this is the last thing, and what this is a financial dashboard. And the only reason this is very important is because this is what enables us to do your analytics and tell you and advise you in what we think would be best with your medical, okay? This is similar to what would be an underwriter would use. So at the end of this, we're tracking, this is actually Carter County's last dashboard, okay? So we're tracking their premium to claims per employee per month, year over year, to look for different trends, things like that we should recommend changes on, okay? This is one of my favorite graphs because the purple line represents premium that you pay to the insurance carrier. The green line represents where the carrier wants you to run with your claims, 80% loss ratio. The blue line is how they're currently running, and the red line is how they ran 12 months ago. Now, I won't go through all this, but at the very end, we track the claims going over the pulling level or the stop loss point and make sure that they don't get hit for those, which was key in negotiating the renewal for them. But right here, we actually project their renewal every month. So they're no longer in the dark. So instead of getting that right before you've got to decide your budget, and oh, hey, by the way, you're looking at a 5% increase, how are you going to figure that one out? And then you're trying to set the rates and everything, they know how they're running. So, and we know how they're running before we get that renewal. So, this is a very handy tool and is absolutely essential if you all decide to go self-funded, which you would probably want to do later on down the road at your size. Like I mentioned, you keep the interest on your money, okay?
So we provide this on a monthly basis to Brad and to Michael, and then we turn around and meet with them on a quarterly basis to walk and talk through this. So they know on a monthly basis, each entity of ours, where they're sitting on their renewal. So if we were, the BOE at Carter County decide to come out of the state pool, and now we are in control of our benefit and everything, we need to know how we're running on a monthly basis. And that's why we do that, we build that in-house.
Yeah. But if-
Questions?
Yes, I do.
Mhm.
Most of this stuff you had was government, right?
Mhm.
Do you have anything on school systems that you could have shown us, since we're not government, you're a school system?
Yeah, so we do have, some marketing that we brought to the original meeting for a school system that showed their medical with their support staff, and I'd be happy to email that to you guys.
How many school systems do you service now?
Over on their medical,
Whatever,
we service 3 right now.
3?
Uh-huh.
How long have
3.
you been in business?
Since 2001. And here's what I'll say about that. Because at Carter County government, you know, because I was told that one of the things about Sequoyah Group, we didn't have enough schools, okay? And my brother's an old educator. He was the head football coach down at Knox Central for 30 years. And I look at Carter County government when we came up here and we first looked at this business here. We were the smallest broker that presented or answered the RFP on Carter County BOE. And we replaced Mark III, which had 150 county governments. And we only had about 20, okay? But what it gets down to is because, you know, what can the broker do for you? How can they make an impact to the entity, whether it's the BOE or the county government, its employees and family members? So Carter County government had been trying for many, many years to do something with their medical. And what it took us 6 months to be able to turn around and have a savings if the county wanted to realize the savings was about $1.2 million. It took us 6 months to be able to do that, whereas Mark III could never get there or never do that. So, you know, I kind of come from being a very boutique-ish broker, that big or largest is not always the best. I'll let our history and our references and the information and the analytics that we provide and our history over the last 20 years speak for itself. So it was just like at Carter County, and I guess the biggest billboard or the best billboard that Sequoyah Group would have is ask Brad, ask Michael, and ask the 230 plus employees at Carter County how they like working with Sequoyah Group. Okay? So, you know, I heard it because Peggy had said when I talked to her that, you know, Sequoyah Group just only had 2 or 3 BOEs that we was working with. And I'll make this statement, biggest ain't always best. And anything that we've put there on that slide, we can bring those kind of numbers and do those kind of projections. And
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're insuring people, you're not insuring governments.
Well,
schools.
That's exactly right.
So,
You know, the insurance business is to insure individuals.
it is.
And that's what you brought to the county as an individual plan, because there's so many people at the county did not have insurance and could not afford insurance. And I'm sure in the school system, we have people that can't afford insurance and that needs that insurance. And this option that they presented to the county was enable those people to have that service. And right now, we don't have that service.
What I would say, you're exactly right, and now I'll let Kelly say this real quick.
that take, anybody got that?
No matter where we're at, it doesn't matter if we're in county government, Board of Education, or ABC company, there's 2 things that's impacting the consumers in healthcare. Can they afford it, the premium, and can they afford to use it? And that's what it's about.
so I just wanna jump in to what you said. So several of our staff work for Willis Towers Watson, which is the largest global firm here, shaking your head, so, yeah, so, we have a lot of experience behind us, including myself, so a lot of the things that we use in our shop are tools that larger broker firms, like global broker firms, use and have. So it enables us as a small firm to do a lot more than what most small firms do. And to your point about the Board of Education, I guess it really depends on what the school board is wanting to do as well, because we do medical really well, and we do the analytics and the shopping and all the data to help you right-size medical. And you know, we can have 100 school systems, but if we don't have the data to drive the medical and know how to handle medical, whether it's county government, a school system, or whatever it is, then the medical would be hurting.
Kelly, I don't know this answer, so this is not, you said you all have 3, right?
Mhm.
And I know you have to do what that system wants you to do. You just can't go and you have to start to do what they want you to do. But in those 3, how many have stayed with the state and how many have gone with self-funded? I mean, I don't know.
Great question. So for right now, 2 are still with the state.
Okay.
1 has went out, and there's 1 that's that we're in the middle of working with, trying to come out. So, and you know, it's a process, and that's the other thing. County governments can also participate in the state medical pool. So, and marketing county governments in and outside the state medical pool is very similar, even though it's just a different thing when you have classified and support staff.
I'll ask this to both companies that's attending today. I guess firstly, when we talk about insurance and your insurance, county government, insurance school system, county government is self-funding on the front end. So how would that differ in terms of going in, working the numbers based on what you did or could do for county government in a private entity or already in a private entity, so you're shopping private with private, versus a school system where you have to come in and you're actually shopping private with state. So, you know, where do those dollars fall in relation to apples and apples, oranges and apples based on those
Right.
scenarios?
So I don't know, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to put the spreadsheet in there to show you guys. So basically, it kind of looks and functions the same. It's just the process behind the scenes on our side is a little different with how we have to get the claims data from the state medical pool. The state medical pool does not, will not divide the claims data up per plan. Okay, that makes it very hard on the underwriters, because there's 4 plans available in the state pool, and there's 3 networks to choose from. You got Blue Cross Blue Shield Network S, Cigna OAP, and Cigna Local Plus. And the state will only release aggregate claims data in large claimants, but they will not separate it by plan. So most of the time when we work with entities that are in the state pool, the first year we may not be able to get them out because we don't have enough claims data that we're able to get from the state that we can get out there to run the numbers and that it looks okay and it looks right to move, okay? As we keep working it, building our analytics and everything, we get to a point where we can eventually move it out. But it's more of a process coming out of the state pool with it being a large self-funded group.
Second question.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I knew there would have to be, something different based on the fact that, when you're coming in and you're working with county government that has private, and you're shopping private, you're comparing apples to apples. Versus.
We would still shop apples to apples, meaning that the way the state plans look now, the networks, the co-pays, the deductibles, we would get it priced apples to apples. You see what I'm saying? We would have the plan look exactly the same as the plan in the state to make sure the coverage is the same. Now, is it cheaper? You see what I'm saying? Then, that's how we always do it. We set it apples to apples, no matter if it's self-funded or fully insured. We set it apples to apples, and then which one's got the better cost, okay? Then from there is when we start looking at what makes sense with plan designs and funding.
Second question, and, I guess this relates to, I won't mention the school system, but it's a local system, Northeast Tennessee, that went to a privatized plan. They ended up losing $2 million
Yeah.
over a period of about 2 years. And as soon as they could go back to the state, they bailed out and they went back to the state. How could you all ensure that, if you all come to work for Burke County, that wouldn't happen?
Well, and that was kind of on one of the slides where I said you would need to make sure that you have a trust set up where those funds are put into. I know I'm familiar with the county that you're speaking of, because they actually, when all of that was kind of happening, they called us to try to come help them at the time. It's all in your documentation and your controls of the plan. And you have to have a trust set up on that so that money can't be allocated from your reserves to go. Basically what they did is they spent money out of their reserves on other things that they shouldn't have. And then another key component of it is making sure that your stop loss contracts are appropriate. Because there's reinsurance.
See, that's correct, but see, here's the other thing though. Everybody wants, that wants to come out of the state funding. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
I mean, based on our demographics, I mean, we've got groups that we have been trying to get them out of the state plan for 10 or 11 years. It doesn't make sense.
And so
And we'll just say, stay right where you are. And you can't afford it.
And that's our transparency. So we have a lot of counties will be happy to, or BOEs that will be happy to give you their contact information. Like I said, we market the medical on and off the state plan all the time. And if it does not make sense to come off the state plan, we will tell you, you don't need to come off, in our opinion, here's why. And here's all the pros and cons. Because once you come out of the pool, you have to wait 2 years before you go back.
See, and here's the other thing, and this is a statement that we'll never provide you a solution based on our back pocket. As long as you're in the state plan, not 5 Points, not Sequoyah Group, or any other broker can make any commissions off of that while you're in the state plan. So one of the incentives for a broker to pull a group off the state plan is so he can get paid. And at the end of the day, that's the wrong thing to do, okay? So if it doesn't make sense, stay in the state, okay? But just remember, there's a lot of advantages for a BOE to stay in the state, okay?
So you'll be gathering information the first year to 2 years to make sure the decision that the next board makes, whether to keep you in the state plan or not the state plan.
Correct. You have to have, one of the
It's a
things.
working process.
It is.
People cannot make decisions without being empowered by data. Numbers don't lie. That's what I have said over and over. I can sit up here all day long and tell you this is better insurance, that's better insurance, I can do a better job. Okay, numbers don't lie. So you have to be given the data to make an educated decision on what's best for your group.
And I think in the past, like the commission, they kept doing the same old thing over and over and over, and they keep getting the same old results. They stepped out on a limb, and they seen what happened, and as the data's come back, it's proven that the last 10 years has been very, very unpredictable. And they didn't save anybody any money, they didn't get anybody insurance that needed insurance. It was just, we're gonna keep doing the same thing over and over. And, that's crazy, to keep doing the same thing over and over when you have opportunity to look at something different and, try to make a better environment for the employees, their families, because it's a shame that a person can't have insurance. We all deserve to have insurance. And, I think the board needs to look at every solution.
One more question, Mr. Chairman, and this is, answer, I guess we have to give this, but as it relates to the different groups, we've got 2 different groups that, we've got the paraprofessionals and then we've got our professionals. Is there a way to, develop a plan that one group could
people get bogged down in the, language of the memorandum of understanding that you sign with the state. But I can show you the language to follow to be able to do that. You're not allowed to offer, if you're offering the state plan to a selected group, you're not allowed to offer them something else. So it's the way the wording is. Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions, comments?
What was the savings to the county per year?
I think it's right at 300,000, but then they turned around and put that back into the employees instead of taking
So
it
the employees got
themselves.
the 300,000, they saved that.
Pretty much, I think.
And here's what I said at the commission meeting, and, they did that on tape. The county commission in Carter County, what they did for the employees there, by turning around and giving them $3,111 in an HSA contribution was unheard of. Nowhere across the state that I know of has a county government done that. But they did a great service for the employees of Carter County government by giving them those HSA funds.
So that would be our property, be our source to do that.
Over your children.
Well, and even if you stay in the state plan has the qualified high deductible health plan, which I showed. And, you know, if you're not contributing HSA money towards that plan, there are ways to look at what you're doing with your contributions in that state plan and make sure that it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, if you're paying 80% of the Premier plan, that means you're paying $600 a month for that person to take that plan. Well, if you're paying 80% of that high deductible plan, well, you're only paying $300 for them. So why would you not give them the same amount that you're giving the people in the top plan, right? So that's some of the things that we've worked with people in the state plan of just right sizing how they're treating their employees in that state plan. And the education, it's just education and data.
Different age groups don't need the same insurance.
Right.
I mean, that's one thing, you know, if you're 25 years old, you probably don't go to a doctor any. If you're 60, you're gonna go to a doctor a lot more, so you get to choose your plan.
Anybody else have any questions for this group?